This is me, and I've got all these little, like, cute little stuff going on. I'm actually, ooh, that's scary. That's not attractive at all. Let's be done with that one. Okay, anyway, these things are all kind of going on, and I gotta get something, I want to get some tea before I start my show, but I don't know if I'm going to be able to do that. That is just weird. Okay, that's just weird. All right, and it says I can invite friends. Oh, anyway, I'm getting ready to go on the Freedom of Joyce show here in just a second, but I'm going to try, hi, Zeph. Yeah, I thought maybe I'd capture some attention this way. I don't know, but I'm going to try to get it to stop. How do I get it to stop? Wait, I know I can. I know I can do this. I can get this to stop. Okay, here we go. All right, here. Okay, that's just me. This is just me. All right. Yeah, I'm going on air in just a second, and you're going to see my messy room. I'm putting my place all together, and I'm going to go on American Freedom Radio. And I'm double filming everything. I'm double filming everything, and because, you don't know what's going to stay up and what's not going to stay up. And I think if you have, footage, and then you have MP3s that can stay online, I don't lose shows. And I'm losing material at the moment. My YouTube channel was shut down, and at first I freaked out. Okay, it's you know how it feels. I mean, anybody who's been in Facebook jail or anything like that, it's like being cut off. It's like, oh my God, and then you realize you've been talking to people, and look how messy my bed is. I'm sorry. Whatever. Okay, I'm not perfect. All right, I never said I was. Look at that though. I have a new mural. Do you like the little? Look at that in the background. Look at that. It's cheap, but I kind of like it. I mean, it's like a rose with smoke coming up around it. So yeah. Anyway. So I'm going to start my show. I'm going to talk about some things that are on my mind. I've been assimilating, the loss of my channel and what to do. In a way, I kind of felt a release. It was like, oh my God, because not everything I liked. I was like, okay, it's flushed down the toilet. I can start all over again. And I can decide what material I want to bring back that I think is important. I can tell you what material I think got me kicked off of YouTube. And we have to just phrase things differently, and then I thought about, like, well, what is it that I wanted to stay? Like, if I was going to reboot and start all over again, what would be the plan? I mean, what is it that I'm doing here? Like, what is it that I'm, trying to accomplish by, having social media, having the ability to communicate with you guys, and having, being on American Freedom Radio. Like, what is it that I'm saying? Like, what do I really, believe in right now? And a lot of the things that, this is good, huh? Right? That the light, it's weird because that's the window right there. Anyways, American Freedom Radio is gonna call me here in a moment. I'm trying to make some tea before I go on. But I thought, well, do we want to have more compassion? Am I gonna talk about, my own spiritual beliefs? Am I gonna talk about what I really think is going on? And when I talk about what is really going on, or what I think is really going on, or what I'm doing, there's a level of persecution to that. And sharing your real thoughts out there. There's the social media that we're using right now to communicate. We're not able to communicate. You know that. You have to know that, right? I mean, that's why I'm actually filming right now. I mean, I'm enjoying it too. I thought about the positive aspect of losing your YouTube channel, okay, and then starting over. First of all, it taught me something, and one of the things that it taught me was that there were people there that noticed, all right? Even if it was like not the biggest numbers out there or whatever, but I go, my God, people noticed, okay? And then I realized that, there's a group of people that I've been talking to, I've been communicating with. Like, this is just really communication. Now, yeah, this is media, too. This is media. Right now, this is media. That's why they call it social media. Now, it just so happens that, I'm not just somebody going, hey, everybody, I'm at the park, and, here's the ducks and everything like that. And, hi. No, I actually, this is a form of activism, really, in some ways. This is a form of communication. This is a form of even just, there's people here. Oh, here, I'm getting... God. Okay. Hi, Danny. It's Terry. I just want to let you know that I started filming on Facebook. So is it okay that the Facebook people, my Facebook friends, can hear your voice?
Well, I guess so. Yeah.
Okay. All right. I just want to... Danny says hi. And for people who don't know, Danny Romero is American Freedom Radio. That's his station. He's the one who started it. And we're still here, so I'm here, and yeah. Oh, look at that! Somebody gave you a like, Danny, on Facebook when they said, American Freedom Radio and everything. You got a thumbs up, dude.
Yep, AFR. We're 10 years old.
We're 10 years old. Wow. Well, that's good.
We have history before that, going back to Genesis and Republic and Alex Jones and Sam Miller and all those other psychopaths. Anyway.
Right. Well, and I think when you said Alex Jones, I felt like some people's butts got tight for a second,
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Yeah. People like, oh shit, did you say, like,
I can tell you stories. You've heard them, Terry. They're not all good.
I know, right? But we perfect. But I think we're good though, right? I hope.
Oh yeah.
Right. One of the things that I like about American Freedom Radio, we're going to go on pretty soon, is there's no censorship. Okay, there's no like I can come here. You know what Danny says before I go on a lot of times? Have fun. And hardly anybody says that anymore. Okay, nobody wants you to have fun. All right, like my thought is like what? Why not just have fun, right? And again, I've been involved in speaking all my life, and it was always fun. Okay, for the most part, because I got to be on stage and do comedy and hear people laugh and tour, and it's always fun. Speaking is fun, right? Well, not always though. Not always, all right, because, what you say can, make people very, very upset, and you can have your college tour, taken away if you, don't say the things that are not politically correct, that are changing every single day. Every single day, there's something to be punished with what's saying, and then, if you really say something, or if you say some truth, that's not the popular truth, then you lose your YouTube channel, or you go to Facebook jail, or there's going to be your Twitter account gets taken away from you.
All
okay, here we go. We're going.
We're
going now.
Go live.
Okay.
Everybody have fun.
Okay, we're going to have fun. Oh God, I don't even know if I put even a tea bag in this.
Freedom Radio.
You see, I grew up in America. I grew up in the land where phrases like, I have a dream, meant something. I grew up where I believed that freedom existed, that that's what I was fighting for. I believed that the Statue of Liberty was a symbol of our liberty, that we all came from all over the world because we didn't want to live underneath the monarchy, that our founding fathers damn it, and I'm taking it back.
And now your host, Terry Joyce.
All right, welcome. Welcome to the Freedom of Joyce show here on America Freedom Radio. I'm also have my Facebook live stream going on at the same time that I am on America Freedom Radio. This show will be archived on the website that you can download at americafreedomradio.com, uncensored, with all the mistakes, everything that would happen today. If you are listening live, I want to thank you so much for tuning in. I did not really do any advertising for this show today. I'm almost afraid to advertise. You know, it's like, you know what? You can find out where I'm going to be at. I'm going to be at this time. You may not know what I'm going to talk about or not talk about because whatever you're going to talk about is going to have to be tagged, or you're going to have to, misspell it. I'm really talking about wink, the very thing that they want to take us off the air for at any for anything. And let's just go down a list right now. Again, I know I'm harping about this. I know I keep, appearing on Facebook, or I keep, talking on my own show. You know what? Our ability to speak is being taken away from us. And it's really not about the fact that you believe in what I have to say, or you consider any of my opinion just as valid as anybody else. But, let's face it here. I'm a stand-up comedian, and I've been employed as a stand-up comedian, and I'm also working in the media that it has other comics on it, even though it's not a comedy station, okay? Because opinions, analysis, I don't know if anybody realizes it, but there's tons of comedians out there, being pundits and all forms of media on their Facebook pages or whatever, because it should be our right to talk about what we're going to talk about, and have any religious belief or spiritual belief that we choose to believe in, even if that happens to be Christianity. All right, it seems like now everything, like our entire law system, the private companies that are making it so that we can't have a conversation or communicate, or you need to know what I'm talking about. There's certain things that if I tagged it in this subject line, if I went ahead and tagged it right here, I would be in trouble. I might even have my Facebook page shut down, or I might be kicked off right now. Something happens, there's a glitch that I all of a sudden can't really speak my mind. And then who's to say if somebody tunes in and I just say something that's not really quite appropriate, or something that they don't want people to hear? They, whoever you talk about. Who are you talking about? They, Terry. Who are you talking about? They. Who are you talking about? They. Right? Who are they that are making it that we have to see things pop up? How many privacy notices have you seen on your Twitter account or whatever? Like, you have to re-sign in. Oh, by the way, we have a new policy for your privacy that's coming in on May 25th. Oh, is that because we went through the Zuckerberg stuff? We went through the hearings about how somehow our data got slipped out, and we apologize for our data. You're giving everything away, every single part of your identity, to anybody that asks for it. Well, guess what, guys? Our identity is already out there anyways. Okay, each person now, if you did, and open your mind here, guys. Open your mind here for a second, okay? If you did anything that has to do with anything that sounds like it would be conspiracy at all, maybe you're a chemtrail advocate, you don't believe in vaccinations, you talk about marijuana, it doesn't, anything, now marijuana is popular now, okay, but marijuana is not popular because all of a sudden everybody woke up and went, let me go on the cannabis gravy train because it kills cancer cells. No, it's not that kind of conversation that we're having here. No, it's Monsanto bought Bayer. No, Bayer bought Monsanto, and now they've got their hands on their products in our world that we so advocated was our way out of this pollution that's coming from big pharma and all the corporations and everything else. Okay, so fine. Now now the very people that, wanted people to go to prison, wanted people to go to jail, wanted people, didn't give a shit, some of the people that are still paying penance for, cannabis or whatever it is that we consider to be a medicine that has medicinal properties. But now Bayer Monsanto has its hand in the back door of everything, which is the very people that made it illegal in the first place. All right, John Bonner, great, John Bonner, the former House Speaker. Thank you very much, for stepping up to the plate and helping Jeff Sessions to step down and stop the dispensaries from being raided. That's really great. But you know what? You also are now invested in a marijuana business. Okay. And, is that connected to Bayer? Is that connected to Monsanto? You were so unlenient on anybody that was going to jail for it or prison, but now you're going to whistle a different tune because now it's about our government regulating it in the name of these people who are the capitalists that want to actually control it through our government regulation. That's the game now, guys. Meanwhile, we think we're waving the flag of freedom and legalization. Not to mention YouTube or Google or any other type of media that will shut your YouTube channel down because you're actually doing an interview of somebody who has a product to be sold legally underneath legal laws in the United States. How do I know it? Because this is the reason why my channel tipped over and fell down. They use marijuana for it. Not even, but they go, but it's the community guidelines. Oh, but the community guidelines is owned by a private company. It doesn't matter. And we don't have to follow the Constitution because we're a private company, because we're a corporation. And guess what? Corporations have the same rights as a human being underneath our laws here in the United States. All right. I'm just gonna mellow. I'm gonna mellow out for just a little bit for a second here because I have to take care of myself. I get so excited. I had to not to be a drama queen or something like that. I had to disconnect for a few days just to today. I was you know what? I'm gonna get some sunshine. I'm gonna get some sunshine. I'm gonna look at some birds. I'm gonna be in the park. I was hoping that the open market was going on today, but it's not because I was gonna get a few things and because it's necessary. I feel like I need to get back in touch with what happened. It's almost like the old YouTube channel just blew up because there was so much going on. There was so much going on concerning the reasons why my YouTube channel went down. I couldn't even pick a box, choose a card. It's like that game where you're doing this with pick a card. Oh, oh yeah, this is what it is. Oh, let's open up. Let's got a little lesson inside there. What does that say? What does the lesson say? The lesson says is that it's all connected. It's all connected. There are certain things there's certain topics that you are not allowed to discuss on social media. All right, or you're gonna get a little tag on you that's fake news. That's not the truth. That's not what the mainstream media is saying. We want you to believe this. Why? Because the authorities said that that's the way it was, and that's the way you need to listen to it. And anybody else who has anything else needs to shut up. All right. And then what's frustrating is there are a lot of people that go, yeah, that's right, yeah. I hate those people that are saying this and these laws are being created because it's you, because I don't agree with what you're saying, so you need to be quiet and I don't want you to speak anymore. And those people are vicious. Those people, if you piss off any one of their groups, if you talk about something that, somebody said officially by Snopes that it's a hoax or whatever, or, maybe Megyn Kelly interviewed them and they go, well, what do you mean? What do you mean there was child trafficking? What do you mean there was what spirit cooking? If you go into any of those subjects, you're just a whack job, okay? And those people who talk about those subjects and research those things and go, wait a second, there's really some legitimate things that don't connect the dots here. This doesn't make sense. Why are you shuffling this under the rug? More stuff comes to light about it all the time. Let's just talk about the actress from Smallville. Let's talk about her arrest and what that's connected to. Look at it a little bit. There's something going on there. It's just not like a simple little freak story that you think, oh yeah, there's this occult thing going on. Oh, it's telling me I have a low battery. Darn it. Okay. Oh, I can fix that. So I'm gonna keep talking here, as we're going, because I want to add just a moment here. I want to put. I'm sorry to the American Freedom Radio listeners, but I want to start charging this. Okay, and get that going again. I think that should be charging it. That should keep working it. Hopefully, that keeps going. And you know what? I'm gonna accept whatever amount of time this keeps me on. Hopefully, it's I saw the little thing go away, so I'm thinking it responded to some sort of charge. I'm just refocusing that. Okay, no, I stepped away from this for a moment. Okay, we're back on again. All right, so those, and even to argue those things, like even to say, well, is that true? Okay, because one of the things that I was talking about, I'm going to bring it up because I want, as I'm rebuilding my new YouTube channel, I want people to kind of know what happened. One of the things I was talking about was something called the Hampstead. And look I'm talking to my Facebook friends. So Hampstead hoax. Okay, let's just even go there. All right, because at the same time, I want to be very careful when I talk about things. I want to bring things into like a more observational perspective without me saying these people are this and these people are that and blah 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 blah. Just so you know, I'm going to give you situation, what happened because of it, and then what maybe is the resolution. Like why did this poke such a hole into it? Okay, why did it shake the boat so much? I don't really understand it. See, Hampstead hoax, if you don't know about this, is about these kids who talk about satanic ritual abuse, and it's freakish. All right, if you've not heard it, it goes into cannibalism and sacrificing and some really weird witchcraft. Stuff. And then their dad is an actor, and he's been he's somewhat connected to Hollywood. Interesting. I'm having trouble talking now. This always happens to me. Certain topics, and I start to have a little tickle in my throat or whatever. Hold on, just a second. So I didn't really pay a whole lot of attention to that one. All right, it's across the pond. All right, but YouTube. I saw a few videos. Whatever. All right, but as time goes on, I begin to meet people that are connected to it. One of the people that is connected to it, I think it's okay probably if I say this, his name is Rupert. Okay, it's Rupert. He had a show here on American Freedom Radio. Rupert Quintana. All right, Rupert went in and just to, investigate it. I've had a conversation with him about it, so I kind of need to make sure what I can talk about and not talk about as what happened. But long story short, he poked around in it, and he ended up getting arrested, okay? He went to prison over there for it, okay? Rupert went to prison for it, okay? I'm like, really? You went over there and investigated it, and you went to, he's not even, he doesn't even belong to England. Oh, shoot. Okay. I knocked this over. Okay. I just wanted to cross my legs for a second. Let me see if I can still do this. I want to get a little bit more comfortable here. All right. So, I talked to Rupert, and it's some freaky stuff. All right. There's spiritual happenings. Where you go, changes of wind in certain directions, and black ooze coming out of refrigerators, like Amityville horror shit. Okay, just some of this is lurking, in the background on this, because when we talk about this particular situation, it specifically is dealing with satanic rituals. And the scary part is it's implicating the entire city, police officers, all these different people, being involved in it. Okay, at best, if you don't want to believe in it, it's a great, movie of the week. Okay, I mean, I don't know how many scripts you can write about this, as if you wanted to pretend, and how many scripts aren't really out there, but it is something. Okay, just at the very least, I want to say this: it is something that is on the internet. Okay, it is something that has millions of views, and if you speak about it, or if you tag it, or you do anything about it, you are at risk of losing your YouTube channel over it. You are at risk of people, surrounding it, acting weird. If you do a show with them, they'll sabotage the show. I mean, there are stories of strange connections, and even like an effort to get rid of the information. I can see I've still got like 4 people. I don't know. It may be more than this that are still. Oh no, it went down to 3 that are listening. But that's okay, because I know people have to work, and like, because this is the point that will, probably lose some people. Okay, because you're gonna go, oh well, that's just crazy stuff. Like I know that even when I'm broadcasting on Facebook, that I'm broadcasting to a diverse group of people that are into many different things, and I mean no disrespect by anybody if you have not heard this before. Okay, I'm just telling you that it exists. All right, and that there are people that I know that have been involved in it, and they've had their YouTube channel shut down, and they've gotten harassed by these people, and I got harassed by these people. I got harassed online, or bullied a little bit, by a group of these people. So these people might be somewhat of a sect of people that may have had another interest to shut my channel down for whatever reason. Now, I'm not saying that I'm blaming these people for it. Okay, but it wasn't even, but it was, I did talk about it. I did mock the father. Okay, I mocked the father. I made fun of him. I said that he was a B-rate actor. But even then, even to do that, okay, just let me put this out there. All right, when you're a comedian, you should be allowed really to mock anybody. Anybody. If it's a hoax story, if it's a real story, if it isn't a real story, it doesn't matter. I mean, let's look, but apparently you can't. I mean, unless you were like, Michelle Wolf, all right? Unless you're Michelle Wolf, saying the things, being vulgar about the things that, an agenda wants. And I'm gonna. This is my opinion, all right. My opinion is, if and again, when I'm addressing people on Facebook, I'm treading in a muddied water, here, because there's a lot of people in my Facebook page that I know they think that whatever's being said on any of the other channels, especially if it comes from the Democrat or liberal slant, it's definitely the truth. Like I know they're trying to reconnect. See, it almost wants to take me out. There are definitely a sect of my friends that believe that this last election was because of a Russian hack. A Russian hack. But now I don't know if people even really realize this. The size of the file couldn't even have been up over the internet the way it did, especially not at the speed that it went. So it could never have been downloaded or hacked. It had to actually be taken from the actual server itself and transported. So the hack of the server is within the DNC itself. Okay, and yet the DNC thinks it has the right to sue Julian Assange for downloading the Guccifer 2.0 documents okay, that revealed all of the corruption that has been going on with the DNC, and everything's been so covert about it. I'm shocked. Okay, and I know that even I've argued with this with people on Facebook. There are friends that I love that don't want to address any of this. They're like, that's just no. It's a Russian hack. There were Russian bots, and we had to go through some crap with Zuckerberg, where he drinks a bunch of water and says, oh, I'm sorry, we did have some, because we're a private company, we took some like advertising from Russian bots and blah blah blah, and in the middle of that, we let go some documents, like a fart, like maybe just a silencer, you know what I mean, and your information got out. And now everybody else has to have all these like Twitter and Instagram, and all these people have to have like all these new privacy documents. We're going to correct everything. We're going to make everything right. But what we really want to do is we want to make sure that you're not talking about us like I'm talking about them right now. I mean, it's like we don't want you to talk about certain things. If you talk about certain things, and and if we pick it up, if we see that you talk about these particular things, in your subject matter, if you say it, if we see it in your tags, if we see it in the body, maybe, right now they can't really get what's in the meme totally. They can't totally get what's in the meme, right? So, but they're going to get there. When you talk about like AI or, like bots are determining your free speech right now, and it's a private company, and they think they have the right to do it. And not only doing that, but they're trying to pass laws and bills to coincide with the bill that's happening here in California with Senator Pan. Okay? Senator Pan is making it so through social media, through what I'm doing right now could be considered to be not appropriate. I will be branded fake news on my, forehead, like right here, so I'm not able to say it anymore. And it won't matter, really, will it, if I'm just a comedian or whatever, unless I'm a comedian saying the right things, like Michelle Wolf. Michelle Wolf says what she wants. Yeah, she was offensive. Yeah, you know what? Even as a comedian, I really want to, address. And this is an example. If you guys are going to leave her on YouTube saying what she's saying, then I ought to be able to be on YouTube saying what I'm saying. Even if I want to talk about Jesus Christ. Even I was to go, oh, you know what? I happen to be a Christian, blah, 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 and I made jokes about it or whatever. I should be allowed to do it, not be channeled, not be turned off, not by questioning things. Just because I'm not saying the popular thing that seems to be in vogue that we're supposed to be politically correct about and not talk about or not say, I should not. Look, the stereotypical person that, let's just put this out there, the person that voted Trump into office is profiled as being a vile human being. I have actually, get this, okay, who created that? Who created that for us? Who did that? All right, look, I voted for Trump. You're my friends here on Facebook. Are you my friend because you think I'm a vile human being? Because I should be disrespected because I voted for Trump? Because I looked at Hillary and I go, you know what? I don't like the fact that she had a private server with private emails on it and that she whitewashed it and that everybody sucked up to her during the election. Or that, the whole DNC hack, the fact that they like, oh yeah, we were hacked, but they could never turn over the servers over to the FBI to actually be investigated until now? No, I'm sorry, that didn't cut it for me. And then, I'll calm down here for a second, drink a little more tea. When I saw what was in the documents, I looked at the John Podesta emails. I looked at the FBI code words that are used for child pedophilia. I looked into certain things that now, it's been labeled a thing that you can't even mention, so I won't mention it here. Okay, but you probably know exactly what I'm talking about. I looked into it, and, all of a sudden, Facebook has fake news. Fake news came from that. Fake news came from that. And if it involves anything to do with Satan, satanic ritual abuse, or anything like that, you are considered to have satanic panic. All of these allegations, think about it just for a moment. I just want to make a point about something. Thank you. I got some hearts on that. Thank you. I'm so good to see that somebody, you guys, you hear it. Okay, you hear it. Okay, because I lived in California, so I remember the McMartin's preschool allegations. Sounded weird, didn't know where it was coming from. I didn't pay enough attention at the time. You know, it sounds so outlandish, underground tunnels, things going on, stuff like this. How could this be happening? How could this, every single time any type of allegations like this has come to the forefront, they always walk away. Not one of them has been proven. Not one of them has been proven. Not one of them has been proven. And we've had more than one. Because we also had Presidio Elementary School in San Francisco. All right. That's connected to Colonel Michael Aquino. Now, he was exonerated for this. All right. Yes, he walked away. Fact of the matter is, the courts made him, said he was innocent. He, by all legal means, is a man of upstanding person who worked for the. He's an upstanding human being. Okay, according to his honors, walking away, is there really, if you have that piece of paper, is there really ultimately an argument other than people just don't buy it? See, they think that there are victims, but the victims pay for it. That conversation, that might have also gotten my channel shut down. Okay, because I was discussing this and his link to Max Spears and the death of Max Spears, and then what Max Spears was talking to being linked to what was in John Podesta's emails, which is linked to a lot of other things, which we can get down to Allison Mack and Smallville, okay, and the occult ring, which permeates and is connected to Hollywood, and it is a monster right now. What is it? Nexium or Nexium? I have to, my brain's going, so I might be a little bit off on that. But there's like the level of where this cult went through to, and it goes into the child trafficking. So, but we're not that. This is what's the taboo part. See. Another thing that I was talking about and doing videos, and I'm gonna put it back up again. I'm gonna have to title it different, but it was the work of an author named Dave McGowan. Dave McGowan wrote a book called Weird Scenes in the Canyon that has to do with the military-industrial complex's involvement in what happened in the 60s in the Laurel Canyon scene. With way back, let's go back to early Jack Nicholson, Warren Beatty, Peter Fonda, Mamas and the Papas, the Zappas, Jim Morrison, everything where, the hippie movement or the actual ideal of the hippie was created and fabricated out of Sunset Boulevard, and also connected to occultists, Satanists, which goes all the way to the Manson murders, and Roman Polanski, and what's going on here. Well, now I just want to throw this out here. All right, this is going to sound really outlandish, and I realize that some of my Facebook friends are like, "What the hell are you talking about?" Okay, what are you talking about? But there's too many coincidences around this. There's an Air Force base in Laurel Canyon, okay, that was used at this time, and it's a studio. It's a military Air Force base. They were doing, the Manchurian Candidate movies. They were doing MK Ultra, mind control out of there, and it's all connected, and it's also connected to Lieutenant Michael Aquino. who denies it, or it talks about the military having some involvement with MK Ultra. Now, a couple good movies that you might want to watch that sort of shows what MK Ultra is, because they barely touch upon it, is a movie called The Men Who Stare at Goats. It's got George Clooney and also Jeff Bridges, Kevin Spacey, and Ewan McGregor, and it's based on a true story, and it's about using psychic abilities and things like this, in the military, in warfare. Okay, things that are just natural for people to do, and there's certain people that it's easier for, and they're born into certain families that their genetics might make it easier, and they start working for the government, and these are real programs, and in those programs they did some MK Ultra mind control with them. They say, well, we don't do this anymore, but in fact a lot of people think that they do it still, and they think that they do it in Hollywood as well. And when I speak, and again, I apologize to my American Freedom Radio listeners who have been listening to a long time. I know that you're very familiar with this particular topic, but when I talk about it on Facebook, I realize that I kind of need to simplify it, because you got to catch. There may be people like, well, what are you talking about? And they don't even really want to believe it. But this was done. Notably, in the concentration camps, in the Jewish concentration camps, it was perfected by the Nazi scientists, and through Operation Paperclip, they came to the United States, and they started practicing here. Even Roseanne, has come out and spoken at events where she claims of being MK Ultra mind control, and that it rules in Hollywood. It rules in Hollywood. So, if you look at it from that perspective, if you look at all the different entertainers that are out there that have major success, even if maybe they came up through Disney, they came up through families, they were groomed into the business, may be involved with this. And in this involvement is also lurking in the back is the pedophilia aspect. As ugly as that is a lot of the stuff that is happening with Corey Feldman. And I know that most people know, because the mainstream media has been, covering some of it, because there's really no choice but to talk about what is happening with Corey Feldman, and this bubbling of this pedophilia aspect, is not really a new topic that to be associated with our government or any faction of the government. It's like where there's smoke, sometimes there's fire, right? But let's even take it a little bit farther. You can go into the Franklin cover-up, and if you want to Google that or do any research or search on that, that is Boys Town in Omaha, Nebraska, where they took young boys from there and they went all the way to the White House. And this is in mainstream papers. This is it was during the Reagan administration. All right. I'm not saying Reagan is guilty for it, but it happened. They were served up to certain politicians. So it's known that we have senators and we have people in office, whether they be Democrats or Republicans, that have engaged in this in the past, and it's been covered up. And when it does go to the trial, boom, there it is. And then there is also the satanic ritual abuse aspect to it, and the cult aspect to it, and also snuff films. And there is an implication, and I know that a lot of people out there, I know it sucks. It sucks to realize it. It sucks to realize that a lot of our artistic or cultural icons that we revere as artists, because we think that these people that did these things were I should have the freedom to have speech any way I want to. And because I'm bringing Allen Ginsberg up right now, but he's just popped into my head at the moment. But Allen Ginsberg, wrote an essay or, a poem or a piece, called How, okay? And How was very profane for a lot of people. And it also had, occult references. There was a reference to Moloch, burning, sacrifices, a lot of the things that, I'm talking right now were coded in Allen Ginsberg's piece. And this went all the way to, this went to the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court upheld his right to write such things because again, we uphold free speech, okay? But if you talk out against it, if you say, well, yeah, they have the right to do this, but then again, maybe these things are being dumped on, to society. You're upholding this, but you're not upholding the other side of the fence here. You're not upholding the people that are, looking at, these particular topics and go, well, you know what? Even though, your court system didn't find these people guilty and they walked away free, even though, these people got away with this and the people that did pay for, whatever happened had minimal sentences, like no big deal, okay? And so there's a documentary that, like, this is a cover-up. Now, one of the people that are connected to this is Hunter S. Thompson. It is said that Hunter S. Thompson, one of the confessions that were made, he actually filmed the abuse to these young boys, and that there was actually a murder that took place that was, put on film. Now, another coincidence, another thing that I want to bring up that a lot of people that's like, well, this isn't true. This is part of, the whole, Marina Abramovic. This is all Pizzagate. You don't talk about cannibalism or say that other human beings aren't consuming other things, for the benefit of their own energy. That's just too freaking crazy, all right? But before you close your mind to that, before you close your mind to what this, to what I'm about to say, this is the hardest part that a lot of people are having difficulty with. And yet, if you look at the film, Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas, you actually see the Hunter S. Thompson character talking about it and doing it. So I suggest that if you want to test, what I'm saying to you, then rent, Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas and look at it. I also downloaded it off of, somebody else doing the video on it, but I'm afraid to upload it on my YouTube. I'll have to do it on DTube or something else because, I have the dogs on. I have the dogs sniffing me out so bad right now that, they're I feel like they're ready to do a strike on me about anything. So, I'm kind of walking on the edge and the coals here, but so just rent the movie, or watch, if it's on Netflix, watch it. There's a part in the movie where Hunter S. Thompson is taking these drops and he's, putting his tongue, he's like, it's all weird, it's Terry Gilliam, and he's like, yeah, this is, the made from the adrenaline of an abused child that was sodomized or something like that, and he's like, and it's, it gets you really, high, and then he was murdered or whatever, you know what I mean? Okay, so what's happening is, if this is on their world, their market, whoever they are that we're talking about, the people that do this, there are people that do this, apparently, to get high. So they abuse children and kill them to get high, all right? Now, and you have the Hunter S. Thompson character, being depicted in the Terry Gilliam movie, doing the conspiracy that other people are getting their YouTube channel shut down for talking about. It's being depicted in the Hollywood film, but, I could be in trouble, or I'm going to get the fake news label that this is not really, actually really happening. So, don't look what's going behind the curtain. Don't pay attention to the wizard, behind the curtain. That's not really happening. So all of these cases, every single one of them is debunked as if there were a brigade to debunk the validity of anything that you're talking about. And when we are talking about fake news, when you're here on Facebook and you have your friend has a post and it bugs you, all right, or whatever, or maybe Maybe it's me right now, or whatever it is, and then they'll go, well, I think this is fake news. I don't want to give you any ideas, all right? But, you know, and they go, well, I think this is just fake news, you know, or, you know what I'm saying? Okay, let's say, you know, I share a Fox News link, and it talks about how Trey Gowdy is really busting what was in hashtag release the memo. But because, you know, Adam Schiff and Dianne Feinstein decided to, like, you know, send letters to Twitter and Google and say you must investigate every single person that does hashtag release the memo because they are, you know, they've been influenced by the Russian bots that I guess, you know, Zuckerberg had to go on trial in the first place, you know. But when that all really first came down, you know, like when you can just go, well, you know, I don't agree with this. You know, this is fake news. Like it is Russian bots, and this is fake news, and it's coming from Fox News. So I can, if I want to snooze my friend or whatever, you can also like report it, and it gives you the option: is this fake news? And then the community guidelines will get back to you, and it will tell you whether or not they think it's fake news. So, you know, let's say you flag, you know, a Maxine Waters, you know, article, which Maxine Waters, by the way, does occult things. There was a big occult ritual thing that happened. Yeah, a legitimate article in the Los Angeles Times, you know, it's okay, you know, to just have a magical ceremony in a Scottish Rites temple, the Forever, you know, at the Forever Cemetery on Santa Monica Boulevard, where all the dead relatives are at, that have been controlling this, you know, the entertainment industry in this particular world. You could do a seance for like feminine rights. You know, ceremony took place, and Maxine Water came out amongst everybody and talked about, you know, BDSM, bondage, and how somehow it played into everything. True stuff. All right, let's say I share that, and it's the Los Angeles Times, but it's like, you know, they don't like it. Whatever. You can get busted if you were not supporting that. Okay, if you're not supporting Maxine Waters doing a ritual at a Scottish Rites temple for feminism and do BDSM, when you look at Alan Mack and Smallville, they're all doing, that's what they were doing, BDSM. That was mask under BDSM, slave, master slave, you know, whatever. That's, I guess that's normal in politics. I guess it's normal. So, you know, whatever Maxine Waters, you know, people think it's the real stuff. She's been going on about Russia and Trump and hacking and how the election was hacked and going on. To me, that's the biggest lie. That's the big... To sit back and say that our election was hacked by Russians is a lie. It's a lie, in my opinion. Okay, all right, fine. In my opinion, on the research that I've done, what I think is real, what I think is really, really sound, I think that that's a lie. I think it's a waste of our time. I think that the people that are pushing that narrative are guilty of something. That's why they keep digging. The real offenses that happen here on Facebook, the real people at risk of being victims to anything social media is you and I. It's me. It's me who's a comedian. It's me who's simulcasting on American Freedom Radio that isn't going to censor me. That you can go and download an MP3 for free at any time. Because I don't know, you know, I mean, if anybody wants to delete your presence anywhere, they can at any moment. So it's like we have to like reinvent the wheel. First of all, we have to realize it's actually really happening to us. I want to question this. You know, people say, well, you know, now there's the whole push, like, well, if it's local news, you know, we're not even going to say, we would be laughed in the face if we said that it was a CNN. Facebook business. People are boosting posts similar to yours. Try boost. Oh, so I just got an advertisement from Facebook telling me that I can do a Facebook post. All right, I know this is going to be a little bit off topic here for a minute, but it's coming up, and I just want to kind of give people, like if you want to leave breadcrumbs, if you're interested in what I'm talking about, or you want to follow me in any other places that I'm doing, here's a game plan, that I'm working on. All right. One is that yes, I do have a YouTube channel open still. All right. Although I don't have a customized link for it, and I don't know if I ever will customize it. I'm not sure. I might do a customized URL, or I'm going to have it embedded on my own website, which I'll be building really soon. I'm also looking to see if I can get on some sort of private server. I don't know how to adjust it, or might have my own where I can actually upload my content to my own webpage that I can have people go and see. And I can maybe do an earmark of where they can see the actual footage. There's footage now that I have that I think should actually be really viewed in some capacity, or maybe it's too risky. But I want it to be someplace that I know somebody can't take it off or put it down, or it won't be there anymore. Or the presence of, what I'm saying is not going to be on the internet, because, a real communication is mainly just you and me. But I'd like you to let if you're interested in following my show or what I might upload. I have tons of footage now of places that I've done where I've done just this live stream events and things that I want to organize and have, because I think it's an archive of what is happening in the world right now, the events that are taking place right now. I think we need to historically earmark on social media, on the internet, because, and try to keep it as the least tampered with as possible, because when we look back of what our real history is, I think that this is a way to know it. And I have a body of work, that's out there of interviews and people and topics. Whether you want to deem them as being fake news or not, or real news or not, I think that as human beings, we have the right to observe those topics. What's really concerning is that the people that are observing those topics are having a political influence on our politics, and the leaks of information that are not coming from the mainstream sources that we are going to, that we know in the past have always been, valid forms of information, are actually influencing the election for the Americans. I will admit to you that WikiLeaks did influence my vote for president here in the United States. It did cause me not to vote for Hillary Clinton. And yet now there's a whole thing that you can read about online about how if you are anti-Hillary, all right, you are hate Hillary. It's like and the people who talk against Hillary are hate Hillary people, and there's always hate Hillary people, and therefore they're going to make up all of the other stuff that they're claiming isn't really true. But there is real footage out there, by the way, of Hillary, that don't get confused with the fact that there were pornography, child pornography on government computers, and I think at the Pentagon, or it was, anyways, there was trafficking going on while she was Secretary of State, that did get kind of just brushed under the rug. People had small sentences, and it did go on. But I'm not supposed to talk about that, okay? Because that's hate Hillary. That's hate Hillary. Now, I want to, also just, open your mind about that thing about the, her private servers. If the private servers had been Trump, right, and there was a hack, and it was through Russia, or there was, we're not even talking about her private, we're not talking about those servers. We're talking the DNC servers were hacked, okay? Another political party's servers were hacked, or they were claiming that it was hacked. And it was uploaded to WikiLeaks and it influenced our election. But that particular hack had to be Russian, and yet they don't really have any concrete proof yet that it actually really is Russian. And yet now they're suing WikiLeaks for publishing what was hacked because I guess, like, I don't know, it caused fake news. I don't know. It's getting so weird now where everybody's just doing whatever they can to have some sort of shred of proof that we had some sort of Russian collusion. I mean, and that the FBI really did their job, and played fair in all of this. That's what the memo is. That's why these people are going crazy and going, the memo's a Russian bot when it wasn't. It was Devin Nunes, and I mean, it's just. But you talk about these things, and I'm fake news. I can get my YouTube channel shut down. If I joke about these things, then I'm the person who can't make a living on the college circuit. All right, but if I joke about abortion, which is a liberal agenda, and by the way, I'm not having it meant to have a conversation or whatever. Okay, but if I can have a disgusting, offensive joke about that. And it's considered a comedian talking their truth. She talked what's true. She spoke what is true. True for whom? For her. Fine. That's her truth. But let's not get confused that that's everybody else's truth. All right? Or anything else that she spoke on from a political platform that people want to say, that the mainstream media wants to say this is truth, and we have a constitution to uphold it. If it's on YouTube, it's not offensive, even though there's swear words, even though there's words about all kinds of other things, even though there's commentary about vaginas or pussies or whatever. That's going to be perfectly okay because it reflects the agenda that's okay with Google and YouTube and everything else. But when you're diamond and silk, okay, when you're coming from, a conservative platform, you're not allowed to say it. You're going to get your channel demonetized. You're going to have your algorithm messed with. Look, Facebook has already implemented things to find your tags to make your algorithms not to be seen as much. Your information is not going to get out there as much. The only bit of levity that we actually really have for any of this is that we have groups that are grouped up in things that we agree with, and then maybe we can see them. But even those are probably could be monitored by some of the people that are working in the opposition that don't want this, information out in the first place. I mean, we can buy the whole Russian bot story and the Russians' influence through Facebook and just say, okay, well, they're obviously in trouble. Okay, my audio device just switched on me here, I can tell. But I'm almost done. Let me see if I can fix it while I'm talking. I'm going to go in and, it's always in the middle of, I know now that I'm not having as good of a sound because, oh, that's why it unplugged. Okay, microphone device changed to the blue snowball. I was moving around too much. All right, so I can see that some of you are out there on Facebook. I'm gonna put a silly face on right now. Let's do this for a while. Let's do.
All clear.
So, hey. I guess I'll take a break.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. All right. I realize I'm still on the. I'm still. Oh man, my friend just showed me his grow, his plant. Awesome. Hey, Stephen's saying hi to you right now. Let me see. Stephen D. Kelly. Stephen D. Kelly, hi. I'm gonna go back to him. Okay, he's typing me something. Yeah, there's some stuff that went down with Stephen D. Kelly. Look, what's this face here? I'm gonna do this face here. Power to the people. Right. Mystery mask. Oh, okay, that's yucky. All right. What's this one? Oh, what's this one? That's it's like a part of the compass. Yeah, okay. Laura was just here. She brought me some good pop. Oh, I'm sorry. He said, oh, it's magic. Okay. Okay, so, let me switch my thing here. I should probably, oh, here's an X. What does X do? What does X do? Star, kind of, don't you think? Like, kind of look like. This is like weird. Okay, that's too weird. Let's move on. All right, what's this one? Oh, what's this one? That one's nothing. I guess it's nothing. Okay, what's this? welcome to the Freedom of Joyce show here on American Freedom Radio. And if you are tuned in right now, I just want to thank you for being here, and everybody out there who might be watching on and that might be watching on Facebook. I'm gonna, Steven's like talking to me right now while I'm on air, and anyway, so on Skype, we have media where we can just see everything everywhere. Going to get a cement, okay, and a jackhammer. All right, he's gonna get a cement barrel and a jackhammer, so that's just a little update. All right, if you are tuned into American Freedom Radio at the moment, you can tune in to us at AmericanFreedomRadio.com. Also, if you'd like to donate to American Freedom Radio, you can do that. We have a donate button and a Patreon account, and we also do have a sponsor. We are sponsored by SimplyCleanFoods.net, and it's organic freeze-dried food that you can have in your cupboard for anything that might disaster that might come your way. All right. Before the break, I was talking about some really heavy subject matters. When I went into talking about the child trafficking allegations that are out there, some very real ones, and then ones that our media has definitely deemed as a hoax, and also a lot of the social media. Hand biting, like people, trying to stop any discussion into those particular areas, and also, if you are a comedian or whatever, you have to be PC. I do want to talk about comics here for just a second, because I'm thinking that maybe there might be a lot who might be viewing this right now, or you might come onto the Facebook page, and because I'm definitely connected to a lot of comics, because I've done that all of my life, for most of my life, and it is connected with with free speech. It is connected with. I mean, some people believe that comedians are really, the last ones that can get away with, telling the truth, or, being outrageous, or, making fun of certain things that you normally wouldn't be able to make fun of. Like, it's the comedian who's able to make fun of the king. And I also think that, comedians, sometimes the reason why maybe, comedians lean atheist or agnostic and things like that is because, we kind of like, in a way, have sort of a, we want to go on factual basis, even though a lot of it is very instinctive. And I really think in some ways does, being an empath, or, having psychic abilities, or having other types of abilities, being highly analytical and being able to see bullshit, is makes a good comedian. It really does, because if you think about what happens when you do stand-up comedy is, even when you go to all these different groups, that you come through from a different perspective, and everybody has a different perspective. Okay, everybody has a different demographic. They grow up certain ways. There will be certain parts of the country that will be predominantly Christian, will be predominantly maybe a conservative mindset. Then you're in areas that are very liberal and have very liberal mindsets. And either way, you've got to tailor your material and your viewpoint and your gender and everything else that you use as part of your story or what you're joking about. And hopefully you hope that that's fine in the crowd that you're particularly hired in. And so it's not just the fact that you sit back and like write jokes and things like that. It's the fact that you have to know who you're playing to. And if you're playing to the crowd that you think that's not going to accept you, that there's certain hurdles that you have to get over in order to win that particular crowd, that you're going to have to come up with clever ways of presenting that particular material to your audience. Okay. And it's the same way with anything. I mean, like if you look at every single media platform that's out there, the media is based on, like if you look at MSNBC, if you look at CNN, or you look at like all these different, publications, many of them come from, it's a liberal media agenda. And there are other facts out there by people like, say, Kim.com, which is, connected to WikiLeaks, where Kim.com will say, 90% of the mainstream media is owned by Hollywood. So you see where, the Hollywood actors are, put into this position. Okay, so for a moment, I also want to get back to, I was kind of in the middle of what my plan was, in order to make sure that I have my media out there. I talked about getting a server. I talked about putting things on different platforms. I'm going to check out BitChute. I'm going to check out DShoot. All of the different places that we can place things, and then I'm going to place things here, and even talk about where you can find my other videos at. I'm going to talk about, I might even say, hey, I uploaded this video, I have it, and you can catch it on the end of the show. One of the things, and I'm gonna point that out, I'm gonna do that to this particular video. I'm gonna re-upload. I read an essay by the actor Crispin Glover, and this is part of my thought about doing a reset. Like when I say, like I'm gonna do a reset about how I present my material to you. See, I think it's when I get too like, oh, this is it, this is the only way that it is. Whereas on this particular channel, I'm going to also come in from a perspective of like, well, this is what's really going on. Like, I'm not going to I can't sit here and confess that I know for sure that the Hampstead hoax is real, and that I'm going to 100% back it, because I live on this part of the country. All I can say to you is that I've looked at a few YouTube videos. I've researched this particular topic. I have questions about it. I think it should be something that I, as an entertainer or as a comedian or whatever, or as any type of analysis that I want to do on my show. Because, see, this particular channel that I upload to, I have it labeled as comedy, okay? I have it labeled as comedy because some of the stuff I have on this channel is comedy. Some of the stuff I have up on this channel is footage from, when I was at Occupy. All right, I let this particular channel go dormant. This is the first channel that I ever created on YouTube. And so everything that I've done, you can tell, if you go through the other videos, you can tell that what phase I might have been at when I was first playing with YouTube. And this is before I joined the Truth Media, American Freedom Radio, or even knew or had the knowledge of the topics that I'm pretty much talking about right now. I wasn't really into the forefront, really. And the only thing that I had going on was that I was supporting marijuana, and that, after being in a raid at a medical marijuana dispensary, I questioned whether my vote counted or not. And I was pretty much not even a political person. I was not a political comedian, okay? And it wasn't until I woke up and saw a few things that I actually took an active part in politics or participating in creating a change, even if it's within the very neighborhood or community that I actually really lived in. Then when, Occupy broke out, it was like, oh wow, this is what Wall Street did. The banks got bailed out, we got sold out, and there were people that were losing their homes. There was a suffering that was going on, and again, it was when we had the realization that there was a 1%. That particular, movement was done over the internet. So it's the acknowledgement or the knowledge of knowing that, movements were actually being televised, by social media, the very thing that I'm broadcasting over right now, simultaneously while I'm on American Freedom Radio, is I can sit here. This is on my selfie stick. My selfie stick is placed blah blah blah, and this is my iPhone. I'm on my iPhone right now. Okay, and you can see me in real time, and so we can do protests, we can do anything, we can film what's going on at a shooting, we can film police officers getting beat up, we can film what the real truth is, and a lot of times that footage that we take, those things that we take, do not match the mainstream narrative of what's really going on. I'm gonna go back to this one again. Just for what else can I do as a face? What face is this? Oh, this is an Egyptian head, I think. Hold on. Oh my God! And also coming to terms with what I'm not holding attention right now. I'm wasting too much time having fun. We're over. We don't want to hear about what you have to talk about anymore. I just spilled tea all over myself. So that's concerning. I mean, all of that's really concerning. About like the censorship. But I want to talk about some of the things that I'm going to re-upload. One of the things I'm going to re-upload is an essay by Crispin Glover called "What Is It?" And the reason why, when I upload it, I'm going to have it attached to the end of this video. For your viewing pleasure. I actually had a request to re-upload it, and I think that particular video a lot of people liked it. It's an essay written in 2003 by the actor Crispin Glover. Okay. And it's very interesting, and he goes into it. He writes it after the Columbine shooting takes place, and some of the comments, obviously, this particular essay would be considered not PC at all. As a matter of fact, if Crispin Glover wrote it today, I'm sure John Legend or somebody from the TMZ camp. Would actually not be happy. Okay, he would probably be writing big paragraphs like he writes to Kanye West, saying, what's wrong with you? You need to get on the right side of everything. Now, one of the things that's interesting about it, and again, this would be considered fake news. This would be a vile accusation for anybody to bring up, but. He questions the director Steven Spielberg. He questions Steven Spielberg's movies, what his movies depict, what Steven Spielberg's is his movies a benefit to society or not. He basically almost accuses Steven Spielberg and other film directors of making our reality more banal, more not, like less than, that we're drifting into, mediocrity, media mediocrity to mainly just numb us into, whatever reality that we're being numbed into. And if that maybe Spielberg himself, only did movies about his own perspectives or religions. And when I say religions, then it gets, you're talking about, I know. I'm not talking about this because I'm anti any religion, anti anybody's race, okay? I'm just saying that, Hollywood is always willing to, give a certain account of things in a certain sentiment, maybe, okay? Another thing that Crispin Glover brings up that is on the line would definitely be considered to be Pizzagate material in a sense, but he alludes the fact that maybe Steven Spielberg has a little bit more fascination with children than he should have. All right, and when you start to, bring up Steven Spielberg, I mean, Steven Spielberg is almost like he's next to God practically. It's like Steven Spielberg, Oprah, God, okay, and not necessarily in that order, all right, and then you have Morgan Freeman playing them. I mean, I just. So even if you say anything about Steven Spielberg, speaking about Steven Spielberg is basically, it's my career suicide. And I have did do certain videos where I speculated about Steven Spielberg. I speculated about Steven Spielberg for some reason the minute that I heard Corey Feldman say for the first time when he was on television that there was a major mogul, executive or whatever that's guilty of this, and I'm pretty sure that they're watching right now. When I thought about like the first, like people say major film director and the first, major, picture mogul, whatever. I think of Steven Spielberg. I mean, come on, Raiders of the Lost Ark. I mean, where does it end? Where does Steven Spielberg begin and where does Steven Spielberg end? I mean, when I think about any director that has a cultural influence in my life, from beginning to end, E.T., all of it, what is it? Close Encounters of the Third Kind. All of the things that the extraterrestrial information angle to it all. You think of Steven Spielberg. You think of Drew Barrymore. Think about all the children. Poltergeist. Heather O'Rourke. Okay, and there are things out there that I've looked into, even involving Heather O'Rourke and Heather O'Rourke's death, that, again, these are all, what people want to say conspiracy theories. These are all things that we're not really supposed to be talking about. And yet, when you look at Crispin Glover's essay about it, he was speculating things about Steven Spielberg back then in 2003, including the motivation of the Columbine shootings and the way that the media had actually covered the Columbine shootings. Like, it even said that they wouldn't release a certain footage, which is similar. At the time that I was privy to Crispin Glover's essay, at the time that I was privy to his essay talking about these subjects back in 2003, was when the Parkland shooting was taking place in Florida, and we were getting such a heavy censorship with even talking about it, that even if you were to do a hashtag David Hogg in anything, you were subject of having your YouTube channel shut down. If you were to call any of it a false flag, okay. So I made it, a joke that in social media death, or in social media death, you have a name. His name is #David Pig or something like that. Because I was doing a play on Fight Club, because it was like where you have to make up different hashtags that are similar to the things that you're talking about, just to be able to talk about the things that you're talking about, because they don't think that if you talk about anything that isn't within the authoritative narrative, and like when they call it an authority narrative, that is police, FBI, anything that's reporting and down and addressing the situation, is the authoritative narrative that's told to the media. But if you have your selfie stick, and you're walking around in Vegas, and there's a shooting, and you're documenting people flooding into the Bellagio Hotel, and going through this nightmare of hearing shooting nearby you when they say it's over several blocks over here. Well, then at that point, those particular videos are not going to be considered valid to the press, and anybody who's sharing it, is subject to having the fake news moniker by by Senator Pham. So when I talk about subjects that I want to talk about, or old material that I want to bring up, I'm going to have to code it in ways that won't be offensive. So my title for the essay for Crispin Glover will be Crispin Glover's essay, What Is It? And that will be it. It won't be Steven Spielberg, #pedogate, #nothing. Okay. It won't have any of those things. It'll just be connected to this video, or maybe I'll even edit a little bit of this video and putting that in front of that video to just kind of give everybody a little bit of a background. Because when I think about what is it do I want to do artistically right now, I want to maybe even present the material that I'm presenting to you and just go, what, this is what happened around it. This is why I think there's something there about it. And and this is why I'm replaying for it and having you look at it. I think it's important to look and listen to an essay written at a time when you read it now, it applies to now and to what is going on now, and maybe actually a clue into the mystery and some of the things that we're trying to piece together and go, well, what's really going on here? Is Hollywood really, a part of Pedogate? Is there really something for us to look into? Can this just be dismissed as satanic panic? And maybe, we should go back and look at John Podesta's emails and realize that there are FBI code words for pedophilia that everybody seemed to ignore, that nobody wants to pay attention to. And those emails are, let's just think about who John Podesta is. Let's just think about who John Podesta is and who he's associated with. If John Podesta's emails were linked to Trump, and it had FBI pedophilia code words, would he be on the chop? Would he automatically be indicted for pedophilia? And how far and who is connected to all of this? Personally, guys, it's not just the Democrats. It's also the Republicans. All right, it's a lot of people. And if you are going to open up your mind, let's say, Hampstead is a hoax or not a hoax, I can tell you, for a hoax, for just a hoax, okay? There's a guy who went to prison from the United States who just wanted to dabble in it. I got cyber stalked for just talking about it or mocking the people involved or saying that maybe that there was a Hollywood cover-up or alluding that there's a Hollywood cover-up. I will not be alluding that there's a Hollywood cover-up anymore if that's going to get the dogs off. Okay, maybe you are innocent. Okay, maybe this is all made up, but why are your children speaking this way? If those are this guy's kids, why are they talking about this? Are they actors? Are the kids actors? Who's in on it? Who's behind the facade? Okay, and why is it out there in the first place? Are there certain things that are supposedly satanic ritual abuse that aren't really satanic ritual abuse? They're really just decoys, and they can take you to court, they can do this, they can harass you, they can do whatever they want to the person who questions it. Don't question it, or we'll take your YouTube channel down. Don't say these things, or we'll report you as fake news. Well, fine, I'm not a news source. I'm not a news source. I never pretended to be a news source. All right? I'm not a news source. All right? All I am is a person that, has a channel where it's a comedy. I don't know, maybe this isn't funny today, whatever, but sometimes it is funny. Or I have moments of being funny. I'm known to be funny. All right? It's my own opinion and my own commentary, my own observation of what's going on. Okay? So why all the drama? Why all the attacks if you're perfectly innocent? If this is just a hoax, is it ruining this guy's career? I mean, because think about all of the pedophiles right now that are just having a heyday in Hollywood, directing things, no problem. I was gonna go. We got Steven Spielberg. We've got Bryan Singer. The X-Men guy that has all these allegations. We've got, Woody Allen. Roman Polanski still gets Academy Awards. I mean, let's just go down the list of people that are actually convicted for these kind of offenses, that sit in and walk the red carpet and live the lush life, and nothing happens to them. Not one damn thing happens to them. Nothing. They're protected, aren't they? They must be. Nobody cares that, Ronan Farrow is saying that her daddy, abused her, and it doesn't. So what that he, took one of the children that they adopted and decided to marry her, and hang around with Jeffrey Epstein that has Lolita Island. That the Clintons went on planes over, and it's connected to all these entertainers. Never mind about that. Don't look behind the wizard behind the curtain. There's nothing to see here. There's no reason. Shut up. The Russians stole the election. Shut up. We're going to do a trial. We're going to waste more tax dollars. And then we're going to run around, and then we're going to do other shows with other comedians. And then we're going to make Oprah as if we're going to do a parody on God. And then make a parody where God tells Oprah that she needs to run for fucking president. That's what's going down here. You can't put potpourri over shit, okay? You can't. You can't. It already stinks, all right? I don't think we can sage this one away. Seriously. I don't. But I'm fake news. I'm not supposed to be saying this. I have to stash all my material away or try to find a server to be able to have this kind of dialogue when another comedian like Michelle Wolf can have the Rolling Stones say she has every single right to say what she's saying, and she's a trooper. She's saying the truth. She's preaching the truth to the masses of people. She is the monarcher of what we're supposed to follow as comedians as being all righteous and good. No, I don't think so. I don't agree. I have a completely different. If I were to be speaking at that dinner, I would have had a completely different routine. I would not have stood behind many of the things that she was behind. I would have ripped the hell out of CNN and MSNBC and all those lying people out there. That's the fake news, in my opinion. If you wanted to know what my truth is, what I would want to joke about, that's what I would be joking about. Not the fact that it was that they should be praised, or that Sarah Huckabee Sanders should be humiliated and said that her smoky eyeliner is because of the fact that she has fake information to stand in front of the cameras and say behind her fake president. If anybody's fake, it's the media trying to uphold that stench of a president that thinks that it should have been president. Who thinks that she has the right to sue the DNC. The DNC has the right to sue WikiLeaks for the WikiLeaks information, because now she knows she's toast when it comes probably the Russian narrative. Now let's just sue the enemy. I'm guilty. Even though I'm guilty, I'm going to still sue someone. Wow! She really thinks a lot about herself, doesn't she? Oh, but I'm the Hate Hillary Club, right? It's all made up. She's the queen. She did nothing wrong. There's nothing to look behind. There's no stench. There isn't a turd trying to wear a crown on its head and put perfume around it. Oh no! That's not happening. Let's all be light. Let's be loving light now. Let's have a drink of our tea and be loving light now. I forgive. I'm reading Deepak Chopra. I forgive Hillary for her stench she put all over the United States. But I forgive her. But that doesn't mean that I don't think that witch should be handcuffed and behind bars as showing this is what we're not going to accept in the United States. And yet I know I can just see my friends out there going, I have a pink pussy hat. Are you anti-feminist? You want to be with a guy who's a misogynist and do blank, blank, blank. Look at her husband! All right? If she's going to be married to that, then I think I should be able to vote for Donald Trump. That's what I think. That's what I would work on writing a joke about. Would the Rolling Stone like that kind of routine, or would my YouTube channel get shut down or demonetized like Diamond and Silk? But it's all kind of fun and clever, isn't it? It's like, in a way, I thought, okay, I lost my channel. Start over again. I can cherry pick what I want. I can redo what I want. I can change my focus. I can be happier if I wanted to. I could add more video. I can do a library of whatever I want and go, you know what, reset. Maybe that one didn't work. Didn't work. I have to retweak it. I have to find the right combination of how to keep talking to you. You maybe don't care. Maybe you don't care. Maybe you're like, oh, there's that crazy lady that's gonna rant between like 5 and 7. I won't Eastern time. I won't tune into that one. Or maybe you are tuning in because of that. Like, I like the crazy ranting lady. All right. Or, maybe you don't care, like, like, what is she talking about? What is she talking about? Who cares? I know that they're friends. I'm sure you turned me off. That's fine. I turned you off too for a while. I mean, there are things that But I'm going to be here anyway, okay? Because my motivation is not to make a buck off of this. This is not launching my career, all right? But it's important. I have a need. I have a need to express something. And the thought of not being able to express that, the thought of me not being able to express what I think is the truth, what my truth is, what my choice as an entertainer, what my choice as a comedian is, even if does not go with the grain of society. It's very discerning to me that I'm having that ability being taken away from me. It's been under attack. And the people who did it can think that they were justified or that I was deserving of it or, whatever you want to say, because it was an attack. It was an attack by certain people that used the system to stop my voice, but it was really all about the things I was talking about anyways. And our system is set up that way by the very people, by the very opposition in the first place. I mean, come on. When the fake news wording came about over Pizzagate, over the leak of the emails that were leading to Pizzagate, that people want to say is not true at all. Maybe it's not true. Maybe some of it's true. Maybe it's partially true. Maybe whatever. But it was enough conversation that it threatened somebody, and somebody had to attack it, and somebody had to get rid of it. If Snopes convinces everybody so well, if we're so on it as people where we can just look about this and go, you know what, the WikiLeaks that happened, the John Podesta emails, the things that we saw that the DNC was doing, the DNC fraud lawsuit that Seth Rich, actually was going to testify at, and that and the family even says that the leak came from Seth Rich, but we can't talk about this. This is fake news. If you did hashtag Seth Rich, it takes things away. Well, it'll mess with your algorithms. You're not supposed to talk about it, and yet Hillary can have a lawsuit about the information that had about it, not because it's not real. It's not fake news. It's real shit off of their servers that they're saying was hacked by Russia that affect our election, only they can't find or prove that the hack ever came from Russia. Other than some advertising bots and then apparently we had some of our information leaked out from a certain company that Zuckerberg has to act like he's really in trouble for. Bullshit! It's bullshit! It's bullshit. That's my opinion of it. That's the Terry Joyce synopsis of it. Am I right? Am I wrong? I don't know. That's what I think. Is it fake news? I'm not reporting the news, but does my channel deserve to be shut down because I question it? Because I joke about it? Because I advocate it? Because maybe it affected the elections? So all these people looked at this WikiLeaks, which happened by Russia, and just before the polls, they went, holy crap! I'm not going to vote for this witch queen. Because the mainstream media was telling you that she already won. Not only did she not win, she lost by a lot. She lost by a lot. We'll get, we put, Mr. Podesta on trial. And he talks about how his assistant found a phishing email. Okay. Like, you don't know. Like you have to have an assistant to figure out what phishing email is. Like, when did you go online? Yesterday? And then your assistant messed up. Therefore, you have this leak that happened that WikiLeaks got. But why is his leak so important? Why is his leak so important? You'd think that his leak was the most important there because that's what the President of the United States, Barack Obama, our past president, got in front of the camera and said, oh, and by the way, I have to, sign a bill, to bring in the Propaganda and Defamation Act so that I can also harness more people in what you're saying on the internet because we I don't want to be busted by this. We got to stop your voices based on the John Podesta emails. Based on the John Podesta emails. But he doesn't say what's in the emails. He doesn't say what was in the emails that horrified us. But then we got David Brock, who is part of Hillary's super PREC, going to and start fake news with Facebook and Google. Look it up. It was all part of the opposition research anyways. Doesn't anybody care that the Christopher Steele dossier was funded through the channels of the FBI and the Clinton Foundation, and then it was like purchased as it was part of a political spying, and on the fake dossier, the made-up dossier that's only linked to a Yahoo article, was used to get a FISA warrant to spy on the president. But we want to ignore it because most of the people that, I'm even connected to here hate him. So they're almost okay with the warrant being done or all these things being broken. But if the shoe were on the other way around, how would you feel about it? Like, it's not fair to just be selective and say, well, these things get to be examined, these things get to be talked about, these things get to be determined as being what's the truth or not truth. This topic gets to be censored. And I get to talk about, my essay, How, and all the different offensive things that are in it. I mean, I'm sure hell it will stay up as a moniker on YouTube forever. And yet, it's basically upholding some of the very satanic rituals that are associated with our government, with Bohemian Grove, with the things that people want to say, oh, well, that's conspiracy theory, that's fake news. Those are the people that voted for Donald Trump. Those are the people that, are connected to QAnon. Those are the people that, and again, we can have a whole QAnon discussion too, because it's important to observe it. Who's driving the narrative is what you need to look at, because those are the people that the person who is possible in driving any narrative anywhere that's against the narrative that's being driven and thrown down your throats. If you do anything against it, you're the one they want to get rid of. You're not following the rules, and if what you did has any influence on anybody being arrested or them being exposed or so and so being in office, then you are the person that will be cyberbully attacked, taken down, have your YouTube channel demonetized, your algorithms affected, because a group of people who own private organizations can determine what is considered to be real or not real, and what's allowed, and then it'll program a bot, not even them, to sift through and filter everything that you're saying, so that what you're talking about will have less of a reach than anybody else's. And if they can completely shut you down, then that would be the main program. Oh, we think you're talking too much about this. We think you're talking too much about this. I don't want to hear about it. Why are you harping on the social media censorship? And yet the main reason, in a way, that I'm actually videotaping this is that I make sure I double have my information on more than one flat platform, and it will be sent to more than one platform, and I'll try to get control over my platforms because I want to make sure that whether, even if you're listening or not, that I have the right to share what I think and what is in my heart and is my truth, just as much as, say, Michelle Wolf does or anybody else does who has a blog, who has a YouTube channel, who has a Facebook profile. I understand that I'm not supposed to educate people how to make bombs. I'm not even allowed to show you how to make marijuana butter, apparently, unless maybe if I have an age restriction. I noticed that I did a commercial ad for, when I was involved with Time for Hemp, for the magical butter machine, which is a little that infuses plants with oil, okay, and it could be marijuana oil, it could be any type of oil. Well, you know what? I can't. It has an age restriction on it. They went through and they said this is age restricted. Okay, fine. I'll go with age restricted. But I know another video that should have just been age restricted. Same thing as talking about magical butter, but you took my YouTube channel away over it. So what your rules are can be used as a weapon if there's somebody who doesn't like all the other things that you're talking about. We're going to just find some. That's the part that freaks me out, guys. And also that your enemies, you could have another media person that's just jealous of you because you're doing better than they are. I'm not saying that this is the case, but they can go in and attack your channel and just to do it. And go through and find the things maliciously, so everything becomes a game. It's like playing chess, and it's cruel. And it's a cruel world out there. And there are things that I would really like to stay up. That I would like to tell people, if I were to say, why don't you take a look at this? What do you think about this? Well, one of those things is going to be this essay by Crispin Glover. What is it? When I upload this to YouTube, I'm going to tag that at the end of this video, and I'll even put it into the comment of this particular broadcast so that you can look at it and just at least contemplate what might be going on. What is the real narrative? Do you really trust that CNN has given you all the news that it needs to be done when we know people like Anderson Cooper are connected to the CIA, that it's Operation Mockingbird? We know that the military-industrial complex pretty much looks like it's been involved in the entertainment industry. And I want to share one more last story to you today, because I said, in a way, I've been a little bit, not on Facebook as much. I've kind of I've spent some time alone, and I think that it's important to go take a walk in the sunshine and everything like that. And I was hoping, like I said in the beginning of the show, I talked about going to the open market, and I don't really have the money to do this, but I don't know, it was just one of those moments. I went past this guy, he's shoving, he had a cart, and I realized he was a homeless person, okay? He's coming towards me. And I smiled at him, but at the same time, it's almost like it jolted him, it's almost like it knocked him out. I was like, oh, I didn't mean that to happen, and I got my coffee, and I was walking towards, where the beach or the open market is, but it wasn't happening today, but it wasn't about that. So I'm across the street, and he goes, hey, I saw you at the 7-Eleven. He's talking to me across the street, several blocks down another direction. And I go, oh, God, he probably thinks I'm following him or something or whatever. And I'm like, oh, no, I was just, down. And finally, I realized he's asking me if I would help him. Maybe it's a sign you could help me. And I go, oh, absolutely, I'll come help you. And he goes, I just, and he was going to ask me for money. He didn't have any money, okay? He goes, I'm a good guy. Whatever. I'm just trying to put my life back together. And he goes, I went to prison, okay? So he talks about going to prison and about how he was a drug dealer, okay? He was a drug dealer. He went to prison, and he did 30 years, and he got out now, and he was trafficking cocaine, okay, and he was a black man, all right, he's an old black man, and it made me think about Free Ricky Ross, all right, and the cocaine that was flown on the planes, flown by the CIA. That's what the whole movie Don't Kill the Messenger, Gary Webb, is about, and how, it's linked to the military-industrial's hip-hop music influence with some of the hip-hop artists, that when movies like Colors came out, it actually started more inner-city wars and killing going on, and the bottom line is that, Free Ricky Ross was, the intercept into, bringing in those drugs into the United States from other places like Colombia, that, the planes might have been, the whole Nicaraguan thing, whatever, okay, all of it, okay. Where even in the movie, when they talked about, the MK Ultra part, they only showed, they go, this is what's happening to prisoners of war, and they were being tortured by Barney. I love you, you love me. But that wasn't what this whole thing was about. And the journalist, basically, he ended up being, suicided, or, his death looks like he was maybe just taken out, because once you start to reveal, this kind of corruption, everything goes down, and you're done. You're toast. You don't get to work anymore, because, you really went, farther behind, what's the curtain. So I felt for this guy, because, the drug war is kind of just really bullshit anyways, really. I mean, like, if you look at LEAP, law officers, against prohibition, LEAP, they use this in marijuana legalization, but it's really for all drugs. We believe that there should be a part of the law that isn't really based on morality. And again, you would think that, the Luciferians that are, running our country would, actually really go for this, and maybe that's, the whole point here. But the drug, this guy was just a give up, another name, another thing. He was a give up, okay, for the deeper guys. Somebody named him, the guy who named him got less of a thing. And it really did go back to the CIA. It really did go back to the major corruption. He got 3 years, and he's not going to get out. Now, what is his life? He's got to start. He's homeless. He's begging for money. And granted, yes, he made his choice. He made a choice to do something illegal. He made his choice to sell drugs. Yes, he has paid his penitence, but there are other people that haven't paid their penitence, and they're directly connected to our government. And so. And then you realize that they're actually connected to everything else. So it's law enforcement against prohibition. That's LEAP. That is the organization that thinks that prohibition shouldn't exist. That if somebody wants to do cocaine, or they want to snort whatever, or do whatever, we should be allowed to do whatever if we're not harming any other individuals that we're doing in his house. And that includes prostitution, all right? That's like, not legalizing, basically anything. So, a lot of people want to say that what I'm talking about is conspiracy theory, that there's no military link with anything. There's no occult link to any of this. And yet, the very shows that I did about these particular topics or discuss these things were the ones that got trolled the most. And there were certain camps where I was the most discriminated in. And one of them, I'm going to say recently, the scariest. Because these people, the Hampstead hoax people, found me all the way to my old channel that I hadn't uplifted that many people. They found me and they were harassing me there. And I had to get rid of them. They're like flies. They're like who opened this box? And they have websites, and they have activism against, and they have activism of what's going on. And you know what? If they're innocent, and this is just some stupid hoax, then we have to think, well, why is there a hoax? Why is there a stupid hoax about a town that's abusing children, that the cops and everything are in on it? Why are these kids, who put that video out there? Why is that video still out there? And why are the people that if you just mention it or say that it might be a possibility, you terrorize and you harass other people's lives and get their YouTube channel shut down? And then it becomes fake news, as everything that is speculated in that room is considered fake news. I am going to be ending my broadcast now. So I want to thank everybody who is listening to me on Facebook here. I want to listen to everything who's listening to American Freedom Radio. Thank you for supporting me. If you want to support my channel, I am accepting donations at hollywoodhemptress@gmail.com. Thank you, all of those who supported me. Good night and God bless.